Today, my topic of discussion is how to take the new international economic order to India's advantage, especially the COVID 19 and post COVID 19 world, the kind of increased negative sentiments against China, the attitude of China towards India, and how to rejuvenate the Indian economy. So my topic is not international relations, rather it is rejuvenation of Indian economy. Yesterday I was listening a debate, and the debate was being participated by one big corporate. I would not like to name him, but when I was listening the debate, there was a kind of difference of opinion whether India should impose tariffs on trade with China, or India should stop using Chinese goods, etc., etc. So that corporate hunchos, the point was that India cannot do, because we do a lot of imports, and then we produce something as an input. We take imports from China, and that input is used in our manufacturing process, and then we finally export the product. So if I can understand the economic landscape better, I would like to say that in fact there are two different poles with regard to import of Chinese goods. One is the corporate sector, big corporate sector, other is MSME. Big corporate sector uses cheap Chinese inputs in its manufacturing supply chain system, and then produces something like somebody is making car, somebody is making tractor, somebody is making motorcycle, somebody is doing this, that. So they are importing a lot of ingredients, inputs, a small product at very cheap cost from China, and then they are utilizing it and using it in the manufacturing process, and that is how they get benefited, because they cannot get the same level of cost effectiveness in Indian scenario or from any other country of the world. And since systematically the MSME sector has been totally wiped out by China, so the supply chain is almost monopolized by the China with regard to these corporate sectors. So they are very, very strong supporter of having trade relations with the China, and they say that it is not sustainable to have to boycotting the trade with China or imposing tariff, because they think that they will increase the product cost of their producers, and they were also citing reasons that they are actually exporting these things, so their economic exports will be impacted because of the high input cost of the accessories they import from China. So that is one such viewpoint. Whether we agree or not, but my point is that can we afford to be import dependent economy on China forever? Can we afford not to rise our MSME sector? China has actually dented and actually wiped out our MSME, because for a tractor making company, for a scooter making company, it is a matter of a few parts. But for a part manufacturer, which may be in the MSME sector, it is the whole soul industrial life. So for suppose I am making a small accessory, and I am having a MSME, and that accessory has been imported by that group from China at cheaper cost, so my industry is totally gone. So my point is that the MSME sector is the most affected, adversely affected, I would like to say precisely, from Chinese import. So what is the way out? Somebody was telling that a lot of pharma industry will be totally disturbed because API we are importing from China. So somebody is saying this, that. My point is that let us engineer the Indian tariff policy. Let us engineer the economic policy in a such way that those inputs which cannot be instantly manufactured in India, let us try to allow that, but with a sunset clause, that within 6 months, if some Indian industry will set up that product and is ready to produce, even if it is at higher cost, the government will make it sure on the ground through tariff policy that Indian MSME product is cheaper than Chinese imports, and that cost pricing gap will be covered by the tariff engineering. And then there are certain other administrative hindrances with regard to Chinese import. So we have to actually grow our MSME so that it becomes a B2B model for the corporate sector. Most of the MSME sectors are actually the input supplier to the big corporates. And if they are wiped out, that affects very, very large scale of our economy. So I would like to say MSME sector will be directly benefited from hiking the tariff or banning the imports, including the smuggling also. So, and then there are certain other sectors where Chinese imports are not taken as input for the corporate sector. Here I would like that these are items which must be banned. And if I am telling banned, let us take it an advantage of the current hostile attitude of China. How can we deal with a country which is so hostile and killing our soldiers? So we should take a stand. Since China is not behaving like a responsible nation, since China has spread COVID-19, since China is not allowing independent investigation of COVID-19, therefore, till these issues are resolved, we will not import these items from China. And these items will be given heavy tariff, and these items will be totally negative list. See, predictability of policy will give Indian manufacturers a chance to invest. Somebody was telling that all solar tubes are manufactured by China. If India can send its satellites on Moon and Mars, it is not. China is doing 63% copyright violations, trade patent violations of America. China has no moral right to say that you have copied my technology. India can copy any technology. Let each and every, like green energy, solar energy is a big sector. Why we are dependent on China? Let each and every part, okay, it may take time, maybe 2 months, 3 months. Once policy is predictable, people will come and join the production line. So now this is high time when we should try to say, okay, we are giving 6 month breathing time. Within that time, you set up your industry, produce your goods will be bought by the government. And then once the supply chain system becomes cordial between B2B models of corporate sector and MSME, then the market forces will operate. So government cannot be a regulator now. Now government has to act as hand holder, as a enabler, and as a supporter of the industry. And I always believe that MSME sector, manufacturing sector in general, needs to be given very, very, perfect support. When I'm talking perfect support, it doesn't mean that, okay, these are the policy, indifferent policies, and the inspector goes and enforces it in a very different way. So let the government should understand, now government should be acting as a biggest pusher of MSME and corporate sector vis-a-vis China. If China can be a global manufacturing hub, why not India? At least if India cannot be global manufacturing hub or exporter, at least with regard to Indian needs, let us produce at least for 140 crore people if we are buying Indian products, and this gives a chance to us to actually respect our economic nationalism. I think this is the time when government should think seriously promoting, because Chinese import are directly hitting our MSME sector. Similarly, our engineering sectors like construction giants like Larsen and Toubro and so many, they should be preferred. Why we should prefer China? WTO obligation, if WHO can violate all the protocols, what is so particular that India is so law-abiding with WTO and all that? National pride, national economic resurgence is very important, and world will listen us more and more when we are economic power, because the world understands the language of the economics. No country in this world can browbeat any country by missile and nuclear technology. Let me tell you, in a country like North Korea, which is nothing in front of USA, is totally dominant because and everybody knows that is self-destructive war. No country will fight a full-fledged war with each other because it knows that it is a mutually assured destruction which we used to study, MAD. So what will happen? It's actually trade war which will be going on. It will be like guerrilla war will be going on. It will be like information war going on. It will be proxy war, terrorism, this, that, some border skirmishes, some sort of humiliations, some sort of diplomatic war, some sort of isolation. These are the tricks now. Full-fledged military conflict, I think, will not be affordable to any state, including America. What to say of China? Because in any way, India is a nuclear power. India has a missile system. India can pinpoint its missile to each city of China. And China cannot afford to have one missile being dropped on any city. The entire economy will be smashed. China fully knows it. And China cannot stop Indian missiles in the midway. We have ICBMs. We have very smart delivery technology. So small skirmishes will be going on to irritate you, to prick you, to pinch you. But they know the moment you will retaliate with the conflictual guts, they will retreat. Now, actually, we should try to create this hatred of global opinion against China in a way to favorize, to take an opportunity to build up our own economy. I know in one day we cannot raise MSME, production line, labor supply chain, etc. has been very much disturbed because of this COVID-19. Yes, but Indian manufacturers know how to set up and work in very adverse circumstances. Just give them leverage of not being coerced or extorted by bureaucrats. Once a manufacturer is given a safe passage, is insulated from bureaucracy, let them do whatever they do. Let you take their self-certifications, that's all. That yes, I will adhere to environmental regulations, I will adhere to labor regulations, self-certification, and no more checkings till 2 years. Till 2 years, no more checking. Maybe 3 years. Because then by this time they will stand up. Once they stand up, once their supply chain is well oiled, they will come and comply the directions very meticulously. At the outset, the immunity is very low in the MSME sector. The person is very much vulnerable to cost effectively. Inspector comes, threatens him, takes some bribe, this person comes, competitor comes, uses the enforcement authorities against each other. So he's gone. Smuggling, this, that. Rather, the government should focus on tariff and smuggling portion. Inside, okay, whatever you want to do, where you want to do manufacture, do it. Give me a format should be designed by the government, certification, affidavits. I am doing it. And I will not check it. I will trust. For 5 years, 3 years, I will trust. Whatever you are saying, we will accept that. Whatever tax you are willing to pay, pay it. But stand up. Stand up so that the MSME sector becomes totally competent to supply the inputs to the corporate sector in India. And once we are able to do this, we will generate huge opportunity of employment and business ecosystem. Then comes other sector, mineral sector. India is very rich in minerals. Why we are importing steel from China? Why? Let us process our minerals here. At least whatever we use in India, minerals, at least that portion should be avoided from import. Let us process it in ourselves. Let it be costly. But once a corporate should not compete with Europe and all that. Fine, we don't need export economy right now. We need the total indigenous economy. If steel for Indian consumption of Indians is manufactured in India, mined from India, It is costly, so what? We are paying it for our own country. Okay, we will not be able to compete with export. We are not interested in exporting the steel. We should, to that extent, we should export the minerals. Okay, fine. But that minerals which we process it and use it in India, let us do that. Even if it is costly, but we will create an infrastructure. And then comes constructions and engineering companies. Our service sector is super. Let us take this as our USP. Our medical tourism is bigger, is quite possible. Our education system can be a brand. Let the government should focus here. Okay, come establish a campus of Oxford University. Okay, come establish a chain of hospitals here. Let the pressure of the rich should move from the government to private hospitals, and government hospitals should be available to the people who cannot afford a costly treatment. I mean, we have to create a educational infrastructure, hospital infrastructure, digital technology. We have really come to an age, and now I tell you, the next revolution in India is going to be e-commerce, because India is so large country. Once we create a kind of e-commerce ecosystem where any village, remotest village, can get any e-commerce supply of anything within 24 hours, 72 hours, I think that will create a lot of demand, because already in communication and IT infrastructure has reached in so many parts of India. So here we should strengthen that. And then skilling. Let till 12th. Plumbing, engineering, polytechnic should be made compulsory. So even if I am a dropout at 10th, still I have a knowledge of having some skill. Not plain high school, intermediate is not. Since 6th, there has to be a skill chapters and certifications. Until 8, so that we have created a kind of electricians, engineers, plumbers. Even if they are not required, they are going graduation and all that, but they know. But what this will help us, suppose there is a dropout, at least that person will be a mason, that person will be having a carpentry job, that person have his own skills of belting, electrician, plumbing, so many things. And then the skill will not be considered as a taboo of only a low paid kind of thing. Because even if I am a very, very hi-fi school student, I will also learn plumbing, because it is not only the mathematics and English will be required. Okay, some skill you have to opt, and you have to pass that to get passed. Some health worker kind of basic training. So we are lakhs and lakhs of people are getting high school, intermediate every year. We should make from 6th onward one skill as a choice to that. Let the girls should have different, whatever, they may be having the, we can design these skills and give a choice. Till 10, 12, the skill curriculum is must to be passed by each and every person. This will give a person a skill even if he is a dropout at 10th or 12th. And then, of course, road infrastructure we are building very much. That's very much. Railway, we should increase the infrastructure of railway. And then we should try to create a kind of better coordination of agri products with the railway. Because one thing is good government has done, because let the farmer of India be allowed to sell his produce in any part of India. That's fine. But then there has to be transport ecosystem for that, and railway is the best. Let him or a village should be entitled to book a wagon whenever they want, old wagon from train. Okay, this is what I have produced, I want to send it to the Delhi. This is the banana we have produced, I want to send to Delhi. So this kind of a integration of the transport network, because truck transportation is still costlier things, and it has a lot of other, it is still a victim of corruption and traffic movements. So trains can be very helpful. And another thing I would like, that every person below the poverty line, I have experimented it, I am telling it on basis of, if a poorest of poor person in the village who has no land, who has no nothing, he can have at least 10 by 15 pond in front of his house or backward, where he can put some fisheries for his own consumption. He can have 1 or 2 hens, he can have the eggs, and then he can have 1 hen or like that. This doesn't involve money. Within 20,000 everything is done. And for this, he can approach a peer loan, social loan, and let the social loan should be legally framework from microfinance bank, etc., etc. By giving subsidies, food, free food, Narega and all that, fine, but we should make our agriculture labor more productive by owning resources, creating resources for better nutrition, for better livelihood, so that he or she is not totally dependent on market forces of government schemes. I think now India should think that this is the high time. We should create a kind of protection ecosystem for our SME, like beehive. It's very simple. I was talking to a villager. He doesn't know how to beehive. I said that even if you earn 1 kg of the pure honey, it's like nectar. Use it, consume it for your own self. Your health is going to improve. If you eat fish, it's your health going to improve. You eat egg, your body nutrients, and this all cheaply can be done. And I am more concerned for the people who are below poverty line, who are not holders of land, who cannot do agriculture, who don't have sufficient land. So I would like to say that in this process, there has to be proper policy framework to actualize these things. And if my lecture covers the important points, please like it. Thank you very much.